This video is in continuation of our talks with Vanshika Oberoi, one of our students who's presently studying at Symbiosis Pune. And since examination is round the corner, Symbiosis का examination अब आने ही वाला है हमारा, which is why we thought कि जो आगे का process है, because many queries were coming up regarding the interviews, SOP, LOR. तो इस सेशन का यही पर्पस रहेगा टू हेल्प यू गाइज अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू गो अबाउट इट एंड लिसन directly from Vanshika as to her journey through this whole process. Let's start with the session. Hi guys, I'm Ayushi, your mentor for law-based examinations, and welcome to Law Digest. Let's also welcome Vanshika on the platform, who will give you an insight into her journey throughout the AIAT admission process. Also, I'd like to mention at this juncture that AIAT mock test series are being run by us on our platform www.lawdigest.in. So make sure that you visit the platform, have a look at the series, and if you want, you can enroll so that you can practice through the questions and get that hang of answer writing. Hi Vanchika, welcome back to the channel. As you know, previously we had discussed about your life at Symbiosis, and we try to understand what your schedule is like, and how placements happen, what is the scene relating to the internships. आज की इस वीडियो में we will endeavor to understand कि वैट एग्जाम के बाद क्या प्रोसेस रहता है, बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स आर वेरी ईगर टू अंडरस्टैंड स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस कैसे लिखना है, हाउ टू गेट द LOR डन, व्हाट आर द क्वेश्चंस दैट आर आस्क्ड इन द इंटरव्यू. सो आज के सेशन का यही पर्पस रहेगा टू गेट अ क्लैरिटी ऑन ऑल दीज थिंग्स. I hope you are having a good time at Symbiosis, and as you know, the AIT examination is approaching, and we
Right.
would try not to keep the video too long because people will be studying for the exams as well. And let's just get on to the talking straight away, and please tell us that what are the things that were asked in your interview, and how exactly, because it's an online interview, so how does it actually look like?
First of all, thank you for having me back. And so about the interview, it was a online remote proctored interview. And
Hmm.
before the interview, the process was very general. Like in all interviews, we sent a link divided into a few groups, and then
Hmm.
you have to join the link at a certain time according to your slot. And as and when you're called from the group, you are just told to join us separately. So that's how the interview starts. So a few things that it is important to be dressed formally. That's a mandate that's already given. So
Hmm.
everyone should be dressed formally, preferably in white formals. So all of that and body posture and sitting in a proper
Yeah.
background, all that things that were there.
Hmm.
About the questions that was asked to me in the interview. So personally, the first question was a very general question that they asked me to tell me something about myself and like describe what my journey has been like till
Hmm.
my admission in Symbiosis. So in that, I told them about my schooling, from where I belong, and where what I did my undergraduation in, the course, the college, and what apart from academics, the extracurricular activities that I'm interested in, and how far I have pursued them, and my certifications, and all those basically the important things in brief. So I made it a point that everything I covered in that particular answer only.
Hmm.
So after that, when that was done. They asked me a little more about. So personally, I've done debating a lot throughout my school
Hmm.
life and in
Yeah.
my college. So I had a few certificates for that. So they asked me if I have any national level certificates and or if I have participated in any big competitions.
Hmm.
And they also asked me about my extra certifications, a few courses that I had done. So what
Hmm.
I'd learned in that and all of that.
Hmm.
But that was like very brief questions. Post that they asked me how my transition has been from my home city to Delhi, and if I feel like
Hmm.
changing to a new city for college, is it feasible, and how I adjusted to it, and why I want to come to Pune because I was studying in Delhi before. So this was the general questions that they asked me, and my interview was personally quite short. But this is very subjective. It's not like everyone had the same kind of interviews.
Hmm.
The people I spoke to had very varied experiences. Some people were also asked very academic based questions,
Okay.
focusing on polity. on general affairs, current affairs, any news that had come up. And
Hmm.
what I also saw with my peers was that what you say, any interest you say, they really take that forward and ask you about that. So, for example, if you've been engaged in a sport and if you played at a good level, they'll ask you technical questions about that sport. So you should know what you are talking about and the things that you're mentioning. So that
Okay.
was a general observation that I had about the interviews.
All right. So I think CV and your certificates, as you know, we were talking that expected to upload certain documents. So I think CV certificates, they already have access to it, and you should not really, go beyond, because sometimes
Make
what happens is that students try to, make up things during that process. So that can be one caution that, people should avoid. Then, apart from that, what about the SOP? Like, you have to write the statement of purpose in 250 words. And statement of purpose, as such, basically reflects that why are you here? Why do you want to do law? That is what really statement of purpose means. So, what exactly did you write in your SOP, and anything extra that that can be helpful for the students to understand how they're supposed to exactly write the SOP?
First thing that the SOP that Symbiosis demands is very short. It's just 250 words.
250
So,
words.
before writing, I suggest that you have a draft of very important points that you want to
Hmm.
relay because you will not have the space to write a lot. So personally, I divided my SOP into four different paragraphs. I started with a very brief introduction about myself and my pol science background because I've studied that in my graduation, and my skill sets, that what I think are my skills, which and only those that I think are relevant to this field and not just
Hmm.
the generic ones, but I think that will be relevant for me as a lawyer. So that was in my first paragraph, an introduction about myself. Then in the second paragraph, I gave a little detail about how my academic career has been till date, how my marks have been like, and the leadership roles that I have taken up, and basically all my achievements.
Hmm.
Then I third paragraph I wrote that was a little more extended, in which I wrote why I want to do law and why I think law is a suitable option for me.
Hmm.
And also I wrote a few lines about why I'm choosing 3 year LLB and not 5 years LLB, because
Hmm.
generally people have that notion that that 5 year LLB is something. If you already know you want to do law, then people generally do
Hmm.
the 5 year course. So
Yeah.
that a few lines I wrote about that. And then in my final paragraph, I wrote why I think Symbiosis particularly is a good option for
Good
me.
option. Yeah.
So for that, what I can suggest is that go to their website, and they have a lot of things written about the college, what the college
Hmm.
offers, what the
Hmm.
college's vision and mission is. So I read all of that and tried to include those words in how Symbiosis can help me, because I felt like that will
Yeah,
show that I know
exactly.
college and I've
Yeah.
researched about the college. So that is a tip that I can give, that go
Yeah,
and read
exactly.
what they've written in their website.
That's actually the correct approach, whenever you're applying, be it in Indian colleges, be it outside. That is exactly the approach, that you have to skim through the website, understand the philosophy of the college, the course curriculum, and come out with those creative points, that how can the college exactly help you. So I think, maybe they must have understood a lot of things from your SOP, which is why they did not really ask some questions in the interview, I guess. Uh,
Maybe.
and yeah, what about the LOR? Like, you have to submit two LORs. So where did you take them from, and how to go about that process?
Right. So I approached my professors from my undergraduate college, and I got in contact with them and I told them that I'm applying to this course and this is the basic format that they've
Plan.
told
Yeah.
us. But Symbiosis does not really provide any format for an LOR.
Hmm.
Generally, teachers do have a format of their own, and if not, then anyone can go online. There are a lot of drafts
Heard of
available.
it.
I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
sent a few to my professors also, so they had a look at that. And so you can get in touch with your professors, or if your department head,
Hmm.
anyone who has known you personally, because if they, even if they write one or two lines about how you have been, then that makes it more authentic and makes it
Yeah.
sound more realistic. So they can approach their professors.
Hmm.
I think that's the best source to get an LOR, and it's not very difficult. They know that students require LORs for future pursuing higher
Hmm.
education. So you get in touch with them, tell them what you need. If you have a few points in mind, then that can be relayed. Or if you, I suggest that if you've written something in your SOP, some skills about yourself, then if your teacher is asking you, if your professor is asking you if there are any inputs that you want them to include, then
Hmm.
ask them to write the same adjective so that it kind of connects
Yeah.
and it feels like
Yeah.
it is actually true. So
Yeah.
those points, if they can add in the LOR, then that's an added bonus.
Yeah. Good enough. Fair enough. All right. The application process also mentions that there are certain relevant documents that you need to upload. So, what were basically the documents that you were asked for?
The documents are very simple documents. There will be a file for extracurricular activities as certificates, and a file for certificates for co-curricular activities. Then your mark sheets, class 10 mark sheet, class 12 mark sheet, undergraduation mark sheets if you have them. Transfer certificate, migration certificate if you bought them by now. If you haven't, then that's absolutely fine. They know that students apply before these documents actually are issued to them.
Hmm.
So you can give these later also. And Schools migration certificate, birth certificate, these very simple things, Aadhaar card. So the general documents that is necessary to verify your eligibility in the college.
Hmm.
So, and photographs in a particular format. So if you have, then so they'll ask for photographs. Symbiosis asks for photograph in a white shirt, a formal photograph in a colored background. So if anyone has that, then I suggest that you keep that ready, because that is one thing that students had a lot of problems in, because they kept changing their photo format and that delayed the process a lot. So keep photographs ready in soft copy, hard copy. That's it. These are
Hmm.
the very general documents that you'll already have access to.
Yeah, so basically one has to submit those extracurricular certificates. So people have to sound
Yes,
genuine on their
before the
application.
interview.
Yeah,
Yes.
all right. One more thing, like the people have their exam coming up, and something that was entering into my mind was to help them understand that since it's a remote proctor test and you'll be having the camera around you, so like students often get this in their head that maybe we can keep something on the side and we can take help. How far is that possible? Because as far as I know, even in remote proctored, it's not that easy to uh, to cheating and all, if I'm using the term. But it's not really possible because the moment you move your head here and there, they do issue warnings. How was it in your case?
So in my case also, they were issuing warnings. Now, how far this works, I don't think you will have the answer to that unless you actually go to that extent and try it and then get disqualified in the process. Unless you do that, we don't know for sure how active they are. But
Hmm.
this is for sure that they do issue warnings. Even I received a few warnings when I wasn't even trying to cheat. So because sometimes what will happen is that every section has demarcated time limits. So if
Hmm.
unless you finish that particular time frame, you will not be allowed to move on to the next section.
Yeah.
So even when I was finishing my section earlier and I was just sitting and
Hmm.
probably like looking here, I was staring at the screen. So they were
Hmm.
issuing warnings to me even when I was not doing anything. So do know,
Hmm.
I will suggest to not try any of these uh, activities or not try to cheat in any way, any malpractice. And also, it is, I feel personally, it is extremely, it's not helpful at all because you never know
Yeah.
what is going to come. And that laptop, so you can obviously not access because the screen is locked, and
Yeah.
there is no need, honestly. There's enough time you can think and you can write. The most challenging part according to me is the essay. That's it.
Hmm.
And you have enough time to think and write. So I don't think there's any need to take these risks at all. And it is true that they do issue warnings constantly, and they'll issue relevant warnings. So it's not like that
Hmm.
there's a general warning. If you're looking here and there, then it will be written there that please do not look here and there. Or if you're doing anything
Hmm.
else, then they will issue that particular warning only. So
Hmm.
I think that they are very active with the
Yeah, yeah.
proctoring.
There were certain queries regarding the psychometric test also. Like we had discussed it last time also, I think, that it's very simple. It's basically an objective sort of a thing, and you'll be asked certain questions. Can you like remember any question? How is it exactly worded? Because people are trying to understand, will there be any logical reasoning that will be a part of
No,
the.
absolutely
Yeah,
not. There is
yeah.
no logical reasoning. So psychometric tests are very easy. It has nothing to do with logical reasoning at all. It
Hmm.
basically tests, in my opinion, how much you can handle stress and the college environment and
Hmm.
general how your how you think and general like your it's a psychology test. There is nothing
Psychological.
reasoning.
Yeah.
There's no reasoning attached to it at all, and it is very very subjective. There is no objective based answers at all in this. So there's no
Hmm.
right and wrong. So for instance, they'll ask like how good you are at handling stress, and there'll be
Hmm.
one very good and five very bad, and then two, three, four
Hmm.
other options. So you select one. Or like in a class, if you experience politics or groupism, how
Hmm.
will you react to it? Again, options. So very
Hmm.
general, just
Very
to
general.
judge as a student how your approach will be, how much you will be able to take in, because this course, this college, in general, law is a demanding course which requires a
Yeah.
lot of your actively being immersed in the course, so to say.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think just a general test of that is not even a test. So I suggest that you do not take any stress about it. Be
Yeah.
very casual. It's very short, and they give 20 minutes for it. And honestly, it's a 5 minute job.
I
It's
mean,
nothing.
job because I think it's
Considering
of
that
10 marks
it's very
only. So, how many questions were there? 10 questions?
No, I think there are 20 questions, if
20
I'm not wrong.
questions.
15 to 20 questions, but
Okay.
very, very general questions and no logical reasoning at all.
Huh.
There'll be some line, one statement given, and they'll ask what your approach to that is. That's it.
Hmm. Right. So yeah, I think I hope now students will understand this that they don't need to really stress about the psychometric test. And we are clear with the SOP and LORs also. It is quite an easy job. SOP is very, too brief, to the point, 250 words में आपको लिखना है. So it's quite possible. I think people might have jitters with the interview, but for that also we conduct our mock interviews as well. Vanchika was a part of the NLSAT mock interview plan, and therein we do train you that how are you supposed to exactly present yourself in the interview, and whatever things you are not able to see about yourself, we try to put that across like the mirror. So I don't think बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेस अभी लेने की जरूरत है. रिटन एग्जामिनेशन पे पहले आई थिंक काफी फोकस करने की जरूरत है. एंड आई होप दैट Vanchika, some of people from here do join you there at SLS, and we have a
So,
combined video then next year again for people. And yeah, all the very best to all the students. We're also conducting the mock test series for AIAT. You can check those. And I hope, Vanchika, you're having a great time at Symbiosis. And all the very best for your future. And hoping to connect with you again in the future.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. So, guys, I'm winding up this session. Make sure that you're following up the channel, you've subscribed to the channel, and also you're following us on Instagram for more legal updates and your career related queries that we keep addressing from time to time. Thank you so much, Vanchika, for being here, for taking out time. I know you were sick during the first half of the day, but I'm so glad that you finally made it. And time was the essence here because the examination is right across in 20 days, and students are busy preparing and wondering about certain things. And I hope this session brought that clarity to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.